You're tuned in to the Iceman Show podcast. More bounce to the ounce, and I say what counts. Don't nobody go home till the fat man gets it in. What's happening, chocolate people? We're back in the house for a Thursday edition of the Iceman Show podcast. Want to thank you for joining the Iceman, as you can always find something else to do, but you decided to hang out with your boy. So I want to thank you for joining the Iceman for another ride on the big train. You know how we do. Your digs. Want to go ahead and get started because I got some things I got to do later on. So got some things I got to do later on. So I want to go ahead and get this party started before it get too late. So wanted to go ahead and get it cracking. Go to, if you haven't gotten my first book, make sure you go get it. It's called The Game of Life According to the Iceman, Volume 1. We talk about so many different things in here. We talk about some of the stuff that's going on with white supremacy, global white supremacy. And we also talk about Black Wall Street, talk about dating, online dating. We talk about a lot of stuff in here. My second book, entitled The Dating Bible, will be out next summer. So be on the lookout for that. You can get this at my website, asktheiceman.com. Scroll down to the add to cart button and then go ahead and do your thing right there. Or you can get this at Amazon. Got a lot of stuff cracking out here in these streets. Just read online that Cuba Gooding tried to get his groping case dismissed, and the white supremacist judge told him that the trial would go forward as planned. And so I think it's amazing how somebody could be accused of groping somebody in a club. I don't know if he was in a club or a bar. I'm not sure whether it was I think he was in a club. I don't know what his old ass doing in a club, but anyway, you know, brothers, you have to be careful when you get a little paper in your pocket. You got to be careful, man. I'm not saying that only non-black women will accuse you of groping them, because black women will pull that too. Okay? You have to be careful out here. The black man is always under attack. And Cuba Gooding, I don't know that brother. A lot of black women are saying some things about the brother because he married a white girl and all that kind of crap. Well, I don't know. It's funny how black women love to jump on black men who, find love somewhere else, but yet when they with a zaddy, they high-fiving each other. Y'all notice how they do that? They love to do that. You go get with another color of a white, go get with a Caucasian woman, or you get with an Asian woman or Hispanic woman next to you, and especially if the relationship is working out. And I love how black women love to denigrate these brothers And what I have to say to the black women who have a problem with black men finding love elsewhere is, where were you? Where were you when he was looking for somebody to get down with? Huh? Where were you at? What were you doing? Huh? Because I guarantee he talked to some black women before he got to that Asian woman. Okay? Where were you at? It's just like when I got divorced, my ex-wife said, "You been there no white women around my kids." I said, "You know what? Maybe you should have done your job, and I won't have to have other colors of women around your kids. Maybe if you did what you were supposed to do, that wouldn't happen." Okay? So brothers, make sure you watch, you be careful. If you got a little paper, don't be surprised that there's a woman out here of any race, including black, who will try to jack your life up by accusing you of doing something to her. Don't be surprised when it happens, because they always do that. They're either going to accuse you of saying something to them, or they're going to accuse you of doing something to them. It's one or the other, or both. So you got to be careful. You careful how you move out here in these streets, dog, because there's a lot of angry, evil ass women out here who it ain't even necessarily you. It's just your turn. Okay? It ain't that they got something against certain men. It's just you happen to be batter up, and they choose you to dump on and accuse you of doing something. So don't be surprised if you get in front of a white judge and they a Caucasian judge, and they end up saying, "Hey, well, we ain't dropping this case. We ain't dismissing this case. There's enough evidence to go forward with a trial." But Harvey Weinstein, all his cases got dismissed. All his criminal cases got dismissed, though. Notice that? Ed Buck hasn't been charged for having 2 black men end up dead in his house. Okay? Jeffrey Epstein, the only reason why they're dragging him through the mud is because he's so egregious with sex trafficking. And you have to understand, the same people who are investigating these guys or adjudicating these cases are the same particular individuals who are out here sleeping with 16-year-old girls or looking for 5-year-old kids to sleep with. Remember that. Let me tell you something. If law enforcement had to go and arrest all of the Caucasian males who engage in child porn and sex trafficking, let me tell you something. Your white boss your white boss wouldn't be at work tomorrow. The jails will be full of Caucasian men. If law enforcement really did their job and cracked down on child porn, on kiddie porn, and sex trafficking, remember, most of the tricks in these situations are Caucasian males, followed by everybody else. Okay? And a lot of the males who go out here and engage in this salacious behavior, a lot of them are law enforcement officials, judges, prosecutors, teachers, principals, coaches, all the people who's supposed to be upstanding citizens. A lot of these guys engage in child and kiddie porn. They got kiddie porn on their computers. And like I said, I find it interesting how Cuba Good and then too is there's evidence in this case with Cuba Gooding that he was set up. Okay. Don't think that people don't follow you. If you're somebody like a Cuba Gooding Jr., or you one of these other, if you're a Kevin Hart, man, you got to watch how you move in these streets, man. You get accused of sexual misconduct for doing nothing, just for asking somebody out on a date. That's what happened to that brother, Jason Mitchell, that played Eazy-E on Straight Outta Compton. That's what happened to him. Black men cannot be bachelors. And if you are, you better do that stuff behind the scenes. You can't be on these TV sets. You can't be at these TV studios and at these movie sets trying to holler at all the chicks that work, the staff members that work, as support to make that movie or that TV show. You can't be doing that, man. If you do, look, I know people in the entertainment industry. Let me tell you something. A lot of the guys that never get busted, never get rung through the ringer with all these getting accused of sexual misconduct and all this other kind of stuff. A lot of these guys move in silence. Okay, if they date somebody, they don't deal with the crew. They don't do anything in front of the cast and crew. They don't do anything in front of them. Okay, they don't do nothing in front of them because they know people are looking for a payday. And if nothing else, they're just looking to ruin a man, preferably a black man. And I told y'all that the Me Too movement has nothing to do with Caucasian males. That's why that what's her name, Tarana, whatever her name is, Burke, said that it ain't her job to go after Caucasian males. So I guess we are to imply that it's her job to go after black males. See how that's why I tell brothers, you need to be on top of your game, man. You need to be on your job. And if you have sons out here, you black men and women have sons, and you ain't teaching your son anything, you telling your son that, it's all about that racism don't exist no more, and we had a black, but you keep on teaching your kids that crap. I'm reading online at least 2 or 3 more cases of young black teenage males getting killed by police. Okay, let me read y'all a story I just saw on BusinessInsider.com. State Department confirms alleged leader of white nationalist group is a State Department employee, won't say if he'll be fired. See how they do white men? See how they do them? If the State Department employee was black and in the Nation of Islam, they would have fired him. See how they do? And somebody dry snitched on him. I don't know if y'all can see this from here. Somebody dry snitched on him. Okay. This dude's name is Matthew Gebert. That said this guy hosted white nationalist leaders at his home, and he publishes, and he's also a publisher of a white nationalist of a white nationalist publication online. They won't say what it is though. Notice how they still try to protect these white supremacists. See how they do? But if you were black, they would have had his picture up here on the damn screen, and they would have had his name, his social security number, his date of birth, where he went to elementary school at, who he had sex with the first time he had sex with, the woman he had sex with. They would have had everything. They'd had all his information on here. Talking about he's been placed on leave as of Thursday. Get the fuck out of here. The Southern Poverty Law Center reports that Gebert operated online under the pseudonym Coach Finstock. Black folks, let me say something to y'all before we get into the matter at hand. Ladies and gentlemen, let me say something to y'all real quick. When you get stopped by these race soldiers posing as police officers, let me start with the police first. First of all, you need to be recording it. That's the first thing. Especially when, you know what? If you get pulled over, if you pulled over for a black police officer, make sure you record it. Because there's a lot of black police officers out here who are foul. Okay? Straight up foul. So you can't trust them either. When you get pulled over by these race soldiers posing as police officers, you need to record it. The next thing you need to do is get their badge number and their name. If they have a license plate, because some states, their police officers still have license plate numbers. Most states have, it might say exempt on it. In most states, it says exempt. But in some states, they still have a law enforcement. They still have a license plate number. Get all that information. Because what I want you to do from that point is if something pops off between you and them or that agency, you have some kind of reference. You have information so that if you need to go get an attorney or your family needs to go get an attorney, they got all that information already. And not just for a possible civil case, because you being possibly your family or you possibly being accosted, injured, or murdered by the police. Let's stop just getting this information so you can get a lawsuit, because black folks love to use their dead relatives as a come up. Okay? That's why I put in my will that if something happens to me at the hands of somebody at an agency or something like that, I want the money to be, if one of my family members try to sue on my behalf, because I got some no good family members. Okay. So if you hear about anybody in my family filing some type of case on my behalf, they full of shit. They trying to do a money grab, because these niggas don't care nothing about me. Okay. I made sure that if that's the case, then that money be donated to some black nonprofit, or be put in back, be donated to my nonprofit or given to somebody else. You ain't gonna make no money off me, and I'm laying in a box in the ground. But that, that's kind of family some of us got, unfortunately. Okay. Anyway, you get that badge number, get all that information, get license plate number off that cruiser, you get everything off from that. You get that cop's badge number, and then what you do, you post it on Facebook or any other or YouTube or any other social media site. Post it on there and say, officer such and such stop me. You see, and he harassed me, had me get out of the car. I'm getting ready to go to work. This cop pulled me out of my car. I was in a dress, made me lay down on the concrete. I got all his information. Put it on Facebook. Put it on YouTube. Put it on any other social media site, or Twitter or any other site, Instagram. Put it on there. I don't care if you got 5 followers. Put it on there. Because somebody is going to repost it. And some other folks are going to see that, and they're like, oh, such and such with the Houston Police Department is body slamming black women, huh? Okay. Now everybody knows who this guy is. And then, because somebody going to get his address. Somebody going to do a background check and get his address. Okay. And if this guy wants to body slam black women and pull black children out of cars and do the vile stuff that they do, now we got all their information. Now let's see how they move in the streets from that point on. There has to be retribution when these people do wrong by us. And we need to stop being scared and stop waiting on Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson and all these phony reverends and all these other no good folks. We need to stop waiting until some celebrity comes to town. Benjamin Crump comes to town. We need to stop waiting for these people because they ain't going to show up unless the cameras are on. They're not going to show up unless there's some money to be had. Now, I like Benjamin Crump. Okay? No disrespect to the Qs. I know I got homeboys that's Qs. All right? No disrespect. Love Benjamin Crump. But you know his get down. You digs? But anyway, yeah, we have to stop. We have to stop being emotional. We have to think with our heads and not with our hearts. Okay? Yes, and it's outrageous for somebody to pull you over just because you're black. It is outrageous, but be cool. Whenever you deal with these race soldiers, keep your head. Don't get to acting a fool and yelling and talking about and filming. You're going to sit up there and film somebody get their ass whooped, and you talking about world star. Instead of yelling world star, what you need to be doing is getting that whoever, even if it's a private citizen, get the information on this guy or this woman, so there is some retribution, because there will be no retribution because as you can see with the media, they are going to protect these race soldiers, whether they're military, law enforcement, or private citizens. They're going to protect them. And a lot of times, whenever these people get outed for their racism, it's because of black people on Twitter exposing their asses, or some other black person getting their information, finding a way to get their information and then posting it on social media. And then what the media will do is go back and get the information, and then they'll put the information up there after they've been exposed. After that person's picture had been plastered all over social media. Now here come the racist ass media posting stuff about this story. Believe it or not, a lot of these stories, the lamestream media is a day late and a dollar short. A lot of these stories are old as hell that they post on here. They're already, that shit might have happened 6 months ago, and here Yahoo News posting it like it just happened last week. All they do is waste their time posting negative stuff about Trump. I could care less about what Trump is doing. You digs? I could care less. Trump said this. So what? Why are you posting it? Trump's a racist. So what? We already know that. Now what, nigga? Now what? What else you got? Tell me something I don't know. Please. You know, they're getting on all these owners that own these sports teams that are, that have been caught, donating to Trump's Trump's campaign. And I'm like, so? Nothing to see here. There's nothing to see here. Nothing to see. Why are you reporting on this shit? Nothing to see here. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Is this two different screens? Wait a minute. This is a different screen right here. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to open up something real quick. If you haven't done it, please go do it. This is the Saturday is going to be my last day for fundraising for the nonprofit. We're fundraising for school year, the book bag. We'd always do the book bag thing coming up for this next year. Book bags, school supplies, and clothes. Okay. That's coming up this Saturday. So we're going to try to raise as much money as possible by Saturday. Okay. Saturday, I decided that I was going to go ahead and do the Player Circle podcast this Saturday. But I don't know if we're going to do the Player Circle podcast beyond this Saturday publicly. Probably what I'm going to do is start doing that as a private thing through subscription only. BD Great Bree, thanks a lot. Got your donation early. Appreciate it, brother. That don't make no sense. He gonna give you a ticket. He gonna give you a ticket with no amount on it. Well, that's such a waste of time. That's a waste of his time. It's a waste of your time too, but that's really a waste of his time. Make no damn sense. So that's what we're doing. If you can, everybody hit the like button. Hit the like button. Do them shits. Do them shits. You digs? All right. I want to give y'all some more of this good game from the ISIS papers. Believe it or not, after we did the broadcast Tuesday, I lost about 5 or 6 friends on Facebook. So, hey, Dr. The late great Dr. Cress Welsing is tearing their ass up with this game, ain't she? I'm gonna bring this book to life, brother. I was over at the VA the other day reading this book, and I saw them white folks looking at it, trying to look to see what I was reading. I said, y'all better be glad I didn't bring my book in here called Why the White Man's the Devil. They better be glad I didn't have that book, because I'll bring that motherfucker up in there and be reading in front of them white folks. Okay, sure will. I sure will. There ain't nothing they can say about it, because everything in that book is true. Okay? If you guys don't have this movie, The Spook That Sat by the Door, where my alpha brothers at? Where my frat brothers at? Let me talk about this movie real quick. Where my frat brothers at? Where are my alpha brothers at? Look, if you a self-respecting black person, if you don't have this classic movie in your DVD collection, you ain't shit. Let me tell you why. Normally I don't haul off and say people ain't shit, but I'm gonna say you ain't shit if you ain't got this movie, dog, because this movie was redistributed by our brother Tim Reed, writer, director, actor, producer, Tim Reed from Sister and Frank's Place. Remember Frank's Place? And WKRP in Cincinnati, Venus Flytrap. This brother has done a lot of stuff behind the scenes, man. He got this movie redistributed because the FBI went around. See, I remember. See, I'm old enough to remember. I was old enough to remember when this movie was at the drive-in, when this movie was at the walk-in and the drive-in. Because at first I thought it was a racist ass movie. I didn't know it was about a black CIA, a CIA agent. Now, you got to get this movie. And when you read and when you look at it, you will see why they didn't want to have this movie out. Why they didn't want this movie out. Okay? This is a very important movie. Okay? When you get this movie, you ought to show it to your children. Because we no longer have revolutionaries out here. We got a bunch of weak, lame, bitch-made fuck boys out here. We ain't got too many riders no more. A lot of black men out here, y'all just want to lay down and die. You just want to lay down and die. That's why I hate that COINTELPRO destroyed the Black Panthers and some of our other black organizations, because a lot of these black men from that era, they just want to be on drugs. They just want to be on crack. They just want to smoke crack and die. I got black men in my family. All they want to do is just smoke crack, drink alcohol, and die. And die slow death. So get this movie. You get it on Amazon. But when this movie got released, the FBI physically went around to movie theaters and told them they can't show this movie because they don't want black people getting inspired. Okay? So get this movie, The Spook That Sat by the Door. Tim Reed, his information ain't on here because obviously they, a lot of the, this stuff is from the original, credits from the original movie. But Tim Reed is responsible. His production company is the one that is distributing this movie. He went and got it. He went and got the actual, he bought the rights to this. Doesn't say that on here, but brother Tim Reed bought the rights to the Spook That Sat by the Door. Okay? Because they killed this movie. And he went in there and got the original print, the original film of this. And he's the one that got it put on DVD. Not United Artists. Okay? Not the white folks. But Tim Reed, our brother. Okay? Get this movie, The Spook That Sat by the Door. Look just like this. Order these shit. Order this movie off of Amazon. Okay? We got to start getting educated, man. Oh, it's on YouTube? Oh, I didn't know that. But peep this here. Let me read y'all from the passages of the ISIS papers. Your black ass. Hey, black folks, don't get scared, man. Let me finish reading this before you cut off the live stream. Black folks sure hate the truth, man. A lot of you black folks hate the truth, don't you? Just hate the truth. Let me read some of this good game for you. There's a real good paragraph in here that I want to read to you. Let me read something. Let me read this real quick. Additional symbolism in Western civilization and culture lends further support to this thesis. For example, wait a minute. I might have to read from the top because I really don't want to, but let me just read. Let me just start right here. For example, the God, okay, peep this here. For example, the dog rather than God proverbially is considered Western man's best friend. This is contrary to the beliefs of skin pigmented peoples regarding their relationship to God. Let me stop right there. See, we have always been a spiritually connected people, connected to God, because we were created in his image. So we have a relationship with him. Whereas Caucasians talk about how a dog is man's best friend. Now listen, now peep this here. This is contrary to the beliefs of skin pigmented peoples regarding their relationship to God. This Western concept of the dog as man's best friend is linked to the mythology of the founding of Rome. According to this mythology, Rome was founded by two orphans, Romulus and Remus, who were suckled by a wolf. These two presumably white infants are said to have founded the state that began Western civilization and culture. When this is decoded, Romulus and Remus are the symbolic representatives of the early albinos who were abandoned by their black mothers in Africa as genetic mutant defectives, and in the process of their northward migration for survival were left to the dogs. That phrase comes from. Okay? When they say, "Oh, they left us to the dogs." That's where that comes from. Suckled by wolves. This decoding explains the worship and love of the dog in Western civilization. Western man's affection for the dog is reflected in the fact that in 1978 in New York City, dogs were permitted to put 250,000 pounds of fecal matter on the streets each day. Hold on, let me finish reading this. And is this love and worship of the dog reflected in the mirror image of the words God and dog? Because dog is God spelled backwards. Even at this advanced stage in the expression and evolution of Western civilization and culture, further, as relationships among people become more alienated, Western peoples and those non-white peoples who have been influenced most heavily by Western culture are gaining more satisfaction from feeding, clothing, loving, and kissing canines than in feeding, clothing, loving, and kissing human beings. Western civilization's original symbolized relationship to the canine following the African black mother's rejection of the albino mutant offsprings undoubtedly has influenced the frequent use of the cursing expressions bitch and son of a bitch. These degrading expressions are used pejoratively because deep within the unconscious Western white albino psyche, their rejected mutant status is viewed pejoratively in a world where the human norm is to have hue. See, what you have to understand about these white supremacists, this is why, see, you have to understand something. What these white supremacists have done over the last 500 years is hide their animal and evil and demonic ways. by way of hiding it in text, like not like this, but in books, in text. Because remember, a lot of this stuff that I've been reading out of the ISIS papers have been a lot of that information, a lot of what Dr. Welsing, when she did her research, she took a lot of that stuff from white books and white papers that were written on white supremacy. Okay. And she references that stuff in that book. So that's why I tell people, when you hear me reading from this book, it ain't just her words that I'm reading. These are white scholars who wrote this stuff out. It's a lot of other articles and books out here where their own people tell on them about, because like what they don't tell you about a lot of these childhood diseases, like chicken pox and measles and all that stuff. That stuff comes from Europe. That stuff don't come from us. That stuff comes from Europe. That stuff, a lot of those viruses come from them having too close a contact with animals. Syphilis, gonorrhea, chlamydia, and other STDs came straight from Europe. Okay? And how these Europeans contracted STDs, gonorrhea, syphilis, chlamydia, other nasty bacterial STDs, they got it from having sex with animals. Let me say that again. STDs comes from having sex with animals. Somebody posted a video of this Caucasian woman saying that 9 out of 10 Caucasian females have sex with their dogs, and that she wasn't the only one. Okay? I'm not making this stuff up. See, if you really want to know the truth, black people, you can find it. The problem is most of you guys don't want to hear or read the truth, because what we have done in America as black folk, we have created these coping mechanisms that help us live in captivity. So a lot of people, when they hear stuff come out of this book, or that comes out of my book, The Game of Life According to the Iceman Volume 1, you get folks that say, well, I'll get rid of the problem by unfriending him on Facebook. See ya. Bye. You ain't a real friend anyway. You digs? See, a lot of us come up with excuses so that we can cope with living on our needs. That's why a lot of black folks love going to church. They know it's bullshit. You still drinking, you still drugging, you still fornicating. But yet you get up every Sunday and go to church because you're scared, not because you're serving God. You go to church because you're scared. Okay? And last Tuesday, I talked about, I demystified what the basis of Christianity was about. Christianity is nothing more than white supremacy foolery. That's all it is. And I proved that just reading 2 paragraphs. See, black women love religion because it allows them to be hateful toward black men, still be hateful toward black men, and feel like I can still do it. I can still do what I want to do. I can still be a hateful bitch. I can still be an asshole. I can still be a Negro bedwench and a mammy and a coon and a Sambo. I can still do all those things and still have favor with white Jesus. Well, white Jesus doesn't exist. Neither does a white God. So you're wasting your time serving a white master. See, religion and the slave, that's why there's no difference between us living on a plantation in 1850 than living in 2019. Because if your church took them pane glass windows out of white Jesus and the pictures of white Jesus on the wall, if they took that stuff off the wall and put a black Jesus up there, who really is Jesus, 99% of the black folks that go to that church will stop coming. Because black people want to believe that white Jesus actually existed, and they want to serve a white master because that's the easiest thing to do. Remember, when you're trying to cope with living on your knees and living in captivity, you're going to find ways to cope if you're a weak-minded individual. You see where I'm going with this? That's why if you don't see the racism and the white supremacy in religion, especially with Christianity, you're a fool. And that makes you a fool. And see, black folks think because they can go out here and get college degrees, you can pledge a sorority, you can pledge a fraternity, you can do this, you can do that, you can make your little $100,000 a year or whatever on your little bullshit job. See, black folks think because we could do that, well, if I could do that and I make my little 85 grand on my teaching job, then what you saying that really don't make sense. You talking about this white supremacy and racism stuff. That really don't make no sense, man. The reason why it don't make any sense is because you don't want it to make sense. That's why. You digs? Everything that Caucasians do is in relationship to their survival. So if they create something that's a total lie, they have no problem with. Look. I'm not talking about all white people. I'm not talking about all Caucasian people. I'm talking about white supremacists. Okay? I'm not talking about all Caucasian people subscribe to this kind of stuff. I'm saying that white supremacists do. Because there's going to be a Caucasian person that probably heard what I said earlier about the having sex with animals and all that stuff. And they're going to say, hey, I don't do that. Nobody in my family has sex with animals. Yeah, in your family. That's not to say that the guy lives next door to you ain't having sex with his goats or his sheep or his cows. I used to hear these Mexican dudes at this job I had back in the 80s. They used to be joking around about how they had sex with farm animals down in Mexico. And I'm just like, what the hell? You see how different you are from these people? You see that? You see how different you are from them? So when you adopt, see, what we have to understand, brothers and sisters, is that when you were on the plantation, you had to adopt the white supremacist mentality. And what you have done is you have taught your children over the years, and then those children taught their children how to have a white supremacist mentality. And it's high time that you learn how to educate yourself, self-educate, and get your mind out of thinking like a modern day 2019 slave, because we all have been burdened with that type of thinking. When you see black women, like you got a bunch of black women like Toni Morrison passed away. And if those of you don't know who Toni Morrison is, she's this poet laureate. Oh, she's friends of she was friend to the Clintons. This woman, this is one of the first Black women that I saw that publicly celebrated herself being a Negro bedwench. Okay, Toni Morrison don't deserve no love like that. Okay. The other day on Laura Coates' show, she up here talking about all the accomplishments of Toni Morrison. Ain't somebody to celebrate. She was one of the first Black women. I remember back in the 80s, she used to be bragging about how she mess around with white men and all this kind of stuff with her fat ass. Okay? I ain't celebrating no Negro bedwench. I don't care how many and her books are bullshit. Her books are a bunch of metaphorical bullshit. I tried to read one of her books. I was like, what is this bullshit? And they love Toni Morrison's books at these white universities. See, any Black woman that celebrates being a sellout and being a Negro bedwench and a mammy, they love them. That's why they love Oprah. White women love Oprah to a certain degree. They don't love her channel, though. They love her talk show. They'll watch that, but they're not going to support the OWN network. Oh, that's why Oprah had to go to Tyler Perry, because the OWN network was about to shut down because it wasn't making a profit. Now it's making a profit because they got all that Black programming on there. Oh, see, they ain't see the white media ain't gonna tell you that, and I did that. See, y'all, a lot of y'all didn't know that, did you? You didn't know that when Oprah started the OWN network, her own channel, those same white women who lauded her during her time she had her show did not translate into eyeballs. You see how these white supremacists think? As long as you're the fat mammy, they'll pay attention to you. Plus, if you're giving away cars and books and blenders and every goddamn other thing at your shows, of course, freeloading white women are gonna give you support because they getting something out of it. And Oprah employs more white women than anybody, to show you where her head is at. Okay? And then she gonna sit up there and support that Leaving Neverland movie. Oprah lost a lot of respect with Black people. Even a lot of Black women stop fucking with Oprah's ass after that shit. Oh, you gonna sit up there and denigrate Michael Jackson's name after he done passed away or was murdered? Y'all, Oprah, whose team are you on? And then, Toni Morrison was talking that Black feminist. First of all, you can't be a Black feminist. That's an oxymoron. You can't, because we know that feminism is nothing more than a form of white supremacy. So you can't be a Black feminist. You can't, because you are oppressed by the same white supremacist females and males who are oppressing the rest of us. So how can you be how can you be the oppressor and the oppressed? You see how you being a Black feminist makes you look like a fool? That's what makes you look like a fool. And one thing that a lot of brothers are starting to uncover about a lot of these Negro bedwench feminists that be writing these hit pieces on Yahoo News and some of these other Blavity and all these old gossip sites, Madame Noir. A lot of them are immigrant Black women who have been rejected by Black society because they're either ugly as hell or they fat and ugly or skinny and ugly. So because they've been rejected by black society, they love to put these hit pieces. They get these Negro bedwenches who they'll have them out here writing these articles talking about 101 ways to get you a white zaddy. You know, ain't no normal black woman gonna write no article like that. And the rest, and if they're not immigrant black women, they're just pissed off, rejected black women who got rejected by black society because they were an idiot or they were ugly as fuck. Those seem to be the black women. If they are from America, they're the ones who like to join these feminist movements. Because, and then a lot of these black women who date non-black men. You got these black women out there, you know, getting them a zaddy. Maybe they don't have their zaddy on their Facebook page because they don't want people that know them to start talking shit to them. So they won't put pictures of they zaddy on there, or the white dudes that's running through their asses, you know, because a lot of these white dudes ain't even their boyfriend. They just fucking them. Okay? And a lot of these Negro bedwench type black women are also the ones out here talking about I'm a feminist. Okay? Because they feel an allegiance. They think they have an allegiance to white supremacy. Y'all see where this is going? So in their mind, they're like, hey, I'm in there like swimwear with white supremacy. No, you're not. No, you're not. Sooner or later, they're going to call you nigger bitch. Sooner or later. And let me go back to something I read in the ISIS papers real quick. Remember, I started talking about, you know, how Caucasian people have all this love for dogs. You know, they letting the dogs lick them in the mouth. They having sex with dogs. You can go down to Mexico right now and see a mule or a donkey have sex with a Mexican woman. But we some niggas. We some niggers. Where can you go in America where you can find a donkey having sex with a black woman? I'll wait. Okay. Find one. Find proof that there's black women out here having sex with animals. But I can go online right now and find plenty of proof of Caucasian women having sex in 2019 with dogs, as well as other animals, as well as Hispanic women doing the same thing, because they're considered Caucasian. They do the same vile shit in their culture that you see Caucasians in America do. So if they want to be white, let them be white. That still ain't gonna stop ICE from hitting your factory. You see, they picked up 680 people and then released 300. And you had a bunch of mammies and Sambos down in Mississippi talking about, well, if these Hispanic, if they get rid of them, who gonna get hired in their place to do the work? Because I was standing there all day. I couldn't do my job because they had all them people, took all them people in custody. You dumbass, ignorant country nigga. Why you worried about who gonna do? Look, let me tell you something. If your employer thought that much of you, they would have hired black folks in there to do that job, or white people in there to do that job, or Hispanics who were born here to do that job. Remember, black folks, Those of you who care so much about Juan and Sancho and them sleeping on aluminum foil and being put in cages, let me say this to you. You know what? Let me say this about that no good Negro Bedouins Karen Hunter. I'm listening to Karen Hunter's show today. And this brother called in, was like, why are we sitting up here worried about Sancho and them's kids getting detained at the border and being put in concentration camps? Why do we care? You know what Karen Hunter said? See, this is what tell you that you got to watch these folks that these staunch 10 toes down in the game Democrats. You know what her response was? Well, we supposed to show people that we got better humanity than that. Because the brother was like, well, look how Mexico treats black Mexicans. Yet it was their second president, Guerrero, who was a black Mexican, who was actually a dark-skinned black man, who actually helped beat the Spanish off the Mexicans. And almost every war or conflict going back 500 or 600 years, there were black soldiers who helped get independence, not just in America, but in Mexico and some other countries around the world. And see that the white historians ain't gonna tell you that. They ain't gonna teach that in school. They ain't gonna teach you that Guerrero, the second president of Mexico, was a black man. They're not gonna tell you that. They're not gonna tell you about the black soldiers that went down there and helped the Mexicans fight the Spanish. They're not gonna tell you that. All they're going to do, all the history books are going to teach you is that black people were cowards and they didn't do shit around the world. They didn't do anything. And when you get this inferiority complex being thrust upon you your whole life, it's not surprising that black folks try to find coping mechanisms in order to live on your knees and live in captivity in not just America, but Canada and other Western nations. Because Western really is another name for white supremacy. Okay? That's where that term comes from. So when you go out here trying to copy everything Caucasian people do, you might want to check yourself. Because a lot of the stuff they do is stuff that's immoral, unethical, and you ought to know better. You ought to know better. But I'm listening to Karen Hunter, and she's sitting up here talking about well, black folk, she's trying to give you that remember how they always talk about black folks need to be moral, talk about we're the moral people, we're the spiritual people, we're the religious people, yet we're on the bottom of society. How's that moral and ethical rating helping us? How's that working out for us? How's that working for you, black man, black woman? You so moral, but you broke. You so moral, but you poor. Then you get liars and deceivers like Karen Hunter, and a lot of black folks don't know any better, so you listen to that bullshit, and you like, yeah, I guess we should be moral, and we should be better than that. No, it ain't about being better or worse. It's about being tribal and looking out for your people, because it's your people who are getting shot in the street, not Sancho and Maria and them. Remember that. Remember when Sancho and Maria and them get over here and they get DACA and other bills passed through Congress and the president signs it. Remember that intent that they're getting what they don't tell you about DACA is they're getting a free education and they're sending them to HBCUs. Okay? They're not sending them to University of Houston. They're not sending them to Houston Baptist University. They're sending them to Texas Southern University, where your black ass go. They sending them to Tuskegee and Howard. So they're going to take federal funds, give them a free education while your kids got to pay to go to school. And your black ass is out there with your signs talking about abolish ICE, abolish ICE, with your dumb black ass. Now, don't get mad when their people see. Black folks are starting to see how Hispanics are getting the hookup while we starve, and a lot of black folks are getting hip, and they starting to say, "Hey, ICE, I see what you're saying. I didn't see that years ago, but now I see what you're saying, bruh. Because I see them people get hooked up on jobs. They get hooked up with free welfare. They get hooked up with free health care through states like California, New York State. And there's other states around the country who are giving them free health care with your tax dollars. Now, all you black folks that live in the state of New York and in California, you ain't got no choice but to pay your income tax. And yet the governors of those states are giving these criminals free housing, free everything. Now, how much federal funds are out here so that black children can go to college for free? Huh? I'm gonna ask you one more time, Facebook. I'm gonna ask you one more time, YouTube. How many bills have Nancy Pelosi tried to get through Congress and get President Obama to sign, and now Trump, that gives black children free federal funds in order for them to get a free college degree? Like these people, these criminals that break in our country that get money through DACA. I'll wait. Oh, Asians like to do everything Caucasian people do too. Everything Caucasians do, they do. Like I remember one time, this is probably back in like 2012. This is back before I started doing the Iceman show. I remember one of my listeners sent me an email one time, and he said, "Man, have you ever seen how Caucasian men treat non-black women in these porno movies?" And I was like, "Well, what do you mean?" He was like, "Man, one thing I noticed, man, they really be, especially black women, they really try to shit all over black women and Asian women. They just do all kind of vile shit to them. And them Asian women love that shit. That's why those of you who put a cape on for Asian women, why? Why do you put a cape on for them? Why are you putting a cape on for them? They don't deserve that. They try to do everything Caucasian people do, whether it's sick, vile, illegal, whatever. They try to do everything that they do. That's why when I see Hispanic dudes and Asian dudes out here trying to do some low down shit based on race, I make sure I get with they asses. I get at that ass. I ain't gonna tolerate it from no Caucasian people, but I damn sure ain't gonna tolerate it from no Hispanic or no Asian. I ain't gonna take no bullshit from you. You digs? Hey, YouTube, let's get these donations, man. If you haven't donated, make sure you donate. Okay? Let's get it popping. Listen, this is the last week. If we don't get these numbers, guys, we're going back to the subscription service next week. Because I got some emails from cats saying, Ice, hey man, don't set the price. Don't go back to doing a private show, man. I said, hey, well, you better tell these guys they need to start donating and stop playing games. Stop playing. Like I told y'all Tuesday, I don't have to do this. I don't have to do this. But I get requests from people. Now, the Facebook people, they don't really know me. But YouTube people, you know me. Okay? A lot of the people on Facebook, a lot of these guys go to church. They don't want to believe none of this stuff. Because, they hear this stuff and then they go in there to church on Sunday and be looking at that white Jesus and they be like, oh, shit. Okay? See, you can't play dumb now. You can't play dumb now because you educated now. I done gave you the information, so you can't play dumb. The difference between the word stupid and the word ignorant. Ignorant is when you don't know any better. Stupid is when you've been educated and you keep subscribing to the same ideology. Now you're stupid. Okay? Some of you people on Facebook have looked at my podcast more than once. So you can't walk around here and say you stupid. You can't walk around here and say you're ignorant. Because black folks love to play ignorant so they can get out of stuff. Hey man, I didn't know. Hey, ignorance ain't a defense, bruh. Ignorance ain't a defense. Try that in court and see where it gets you. You get up in front of that racist Caucasian female or male, I guarantee that's what they're going to tell you. Ignorance of the law is not a defense. So even on my podcast, on my platform, you ain't going to come over here and play stupid when I know you know better. You digs? You got a lot of people in the media. You got all these Hispanics in El Paso. They trying to act a fool with Donald Trump. Remember, these are the same Hispanics that voted for his ass. Okay? You got these Hispanics, you got these Mexicans down in El Paso talking about we don't want to meet the president. Oh, you don't want to meet your white supremacist leader? See? And then I'm listening to the radio. This had me cracking the hell up. They said the Mexican government is trying to get the federal government, they said the White House. They trying to get Donald Trump and the DOJ to give them a list of all the white supremacists in America because they feel that this guy that shot up that Walmart was trying to target Mexican nationals. All of a sudden, now they claiming they people. My thing is, why you wasting time trying to get first of all, how the hell you gonna ask for a list of white supremacists in America when you got Nazis down there in Los Nazis down in Mexico? Nazism in Mexico is a lot bigger than I thought it was. How the hell you gonna ask? You got Nazis in Mexico and you gonna ask for a list of white supremacists? Hell, some of the people in your country are probably on that damn list. I thought that was funny. I thought that was hilarious. I did. I thought it was hilarious that these fools would fix their mouth to go and do that and say that. Huh? Fuck out of here. Your country is white supremacist central. Matter of fact, most Latin American countries are a bunch of white supremacists that run their country. Because you go over there to the Dominican Republic and you see all these dark-skinned black folks over there in the Dominican Republic, but yet the people who run the country look white. How many white-looking Dominicans have you ever seen? I ain't seen too many white Dominicans. The first time I seen a white Dominican was when I went over there to Santo Domingo. And you talking about rip-off artists. Man, I said for years that I probably would never go back to the Dominican Republic because of how they act over there. They in your pocket as soon as you get off the damn airplane, especially in Santo Domingo. They in your pocket as soon as you get off the damn plane. How the hell Mexico gonna ask for a list of white supremacists and they down there sponsoring white supremacy? Okay? Fuck out of here. So you got these Hispanics now trying to sit up here and blame all these shootings on the Donald. Let me say this here to folks right here, right now. Donald Trump ain't got a damn thing to do with these shootings. The seeds of white supremacy were planted before 1776 in this country. And Donald Trump wasn't living in 1776, now was he? Huh? This country was built on white supremacy, and white supremacy is going to tear this motherfucker down, just like Rome. You know what brought down the greatest civilization that ever existed? Rome. You know what brought Rome down? Internal conflict, immorality, homosexuality, sexual confusion, political infighting. Sound familiar to you? We are a relatively young country, and look what kind of problems we got. And I get tired of, let me say this something to all you Caucasian people out there. Let me say something to you if you're watching. Let me say this to you. Stop sitting up here blaming white supremacy and racism on Donald Trump. Stop blaming white supremacy and racism in America on Donald Trump's rhetoric. Okay? Do you really think Donald Trump is the only white supremacist in this country that's visible? Huh? All of these CEOs at these corporations are white supremacists. What? Because they ain't out there with tiki torches? They not white supremacists? They not at the Unite the Right 2 and 3 and 4? Talking about you will not replace us? Let me tell you something. Upper middle class, and upper class and ruling class white supremacists, males and females, are too cool for that kind of shit. They're not going to go out there and ruin their standing in their community because some of them Caucasian people are not down with that shit. Or they're like, we're down with it, but do that in private. You don't do that in public. See, Donald Trump don't care. He doesn't care. And you should care that he doesn't care, because I would rather have my white supremacists out in the open where I can see you rather than hide in plain sight or hide in the closet. Okay? I would rather you have your politics right out in the open. That way we ain't got to really we could keep an eye on you, but we ain't got to watch you like we got to do these other motherfuckers. Okay? You know what Richard Spencer's politics is. Okay? You know what Jared Taylor's politics are. You know what Roger Metzger's politics is. You already know what their politics is. What you don't know is the politics of the white supremacists that work in the cubicle next to you, or work at the machine next to you, or teachers in the classroom next to yours. And just because somebody's LGBT doesn't mean they're not a white supremacist, because look at all the white supremacy that comes out of the LGBT white community. Okay? Let's get these donations up, guys. So to all the people who are out here blaming Donald Trump for all these people that are out here blaming Donald Trump for racist rhetoric, you're wrong. Because this country was built on this. And see, what you have to understand is a lot of white supremacists and non-white supremacists want to keep their white privilege. They want to be able to have a leg up over you without doing any work. Okay? They want to keep their white privilege, but they'll stand up there and denounce Donald Trump. But then in the same breath, they will denounce Farrakhan at the same time. Farrakhan ain't never got up in front of nobody and said any of the stuff that Donald Trump has said. The way he's been lied on. Okay? So you have to understand, a lot of non-white supremacists and a lot of white supremacists want to keep things the way they are. They want things to economically and socially remain the way they are. And black folks are tired. You're starting to see black folks raise hell. Okay? This is the new black media. Get used to it. Because a lot less people are getting cable TV and a lot less people are getting satellite TV. A lot of people are opting for just having internet in their home, because these cable companies and these satellite companies are ripping us off. And they're giving you a bunch of nothing. They'll go give you 2,000 channels and 600 of them you can't even access. You got to get a separate subscription for those particular channels. Or if you want to watch sports, like I watch a lot of baseball during baseball season, you can't watch some of the games because they're blacked out, because people are not going to baseball games like they used to. A lot of these sports leagues are losing money. Okay? The NFL's losing millions of dollars. They're not going to tell you that. A lot less people are going to the games, and all that ass kissing that the NFL does with these feminist groups, and all the trying to make women feel comfortable having these guys run around in pink cleats and pink football pants and pink on their jerseys. I get sick of seeing that shit. That's your way of that's how you get women in the seats. Are you fucking kidding me? Fuck out of here. Donald Trump is not responsible for some idiot grabbing a gun and killing a bunch of innocent people. Donald Trump ain't got nothing to do with that. Stop blaming Donald Trump for that. If Donald Trump got up on national, yeah, he does a lot of dog whistling to his base. But even if Donald, look how many black folks got murdered that 8 years that Obama was in office. There's cases I'm just finding out about where black men and women were murdered by race soldiers posing as cops and white vigilante citizens that are just coming to light now. Can you dig? Excuse me, can you dig it? There's a lot of Michael Browns and Sandra Bland cases that are not even being that are just now coming to light, y'all. I think somewhere around 500 black people were murdered during Obama's tenure in the White House. Did y'all know that? 500. Most were murdered by white police officers, but the rest of them were murdered by white vigilante citizens. Y'all better get on the good foot. Y'all think I'll be making this stuff up. I don't make this stuff up. Y'all ain't that important. I'm not going to sit up here and lie to you. You ain't that important, player. And I'm not going to lie to you anyway, because that makes me look disingenuous. What do I get out of lying to you? If you fact check and then you come back and say, that shit you said on your show the other day, that shit was egregious, man. You was lying, man. You think I'm gonna sit up here and lie? No. I ain't got time for it, man. You digs? Trump's racism is not motivating these idiots to do these mass shootings. You have to understand something. What the FBI, well, should I say the DOJ, what the Department of Justice, state and municipal and county law enforcement agencies are not telling you is that there are white supremacists up in these law enforcement agencies. Some like I know LA County Sheriff in the Compton station, they had a bunch of Hispanic LA County Sheriff deputies who have all of them have the same tattoo, and all of them are in this gang where they go around killing black citizens. And like I said, I keep telling y'all, instead of suing these damn police departments in cities and counties, what you need to do is put these officers' names out there in the public so we can get with their asses. Okay? You have to understand the reason why some of these Hispanic and these white and these other white supremacists are bold with their shit is because they, in their mind, black folks ain't gonna do nothing. And to a certain degree, they're right. Look at George Zimmerman. He just as healthy as a motherfucker walking around America. Okay? You got George Zimmerman going on tour around America bragging about killing Trayvon Martin. And we got all you fake ass thugs walking around here. You so thugged out. Yeah, nigga, I shoot a nigga. You so thugged out, but you ain't gonna do shit to George Zimmerman. You ain't gonna do shit to George Zimmerman. You'll go out here and shoot a black man or a black woman in the head in a minute, but George Zimmerman show up, you bitch up. Let me tell you something about the guy, the white supremacist that shot up the Waffle House down there in outside of Nashville. And my frat brother intervened and took that AR-15 away from him. The guy that shot up that Walmart. All these shootings are by sleeper cell jihad. Look, this white supremacist jihad is real. Just like they done sold you on flying 8,000 miles somewhere out over there in the Middle East, killing some guys you ain't never seen before. That ain't never done nothing to you. And they tell you, oh, we got to get rid of Al-Qaeda. We got to get rid of ISIS. They did the same thing with communism. If you go on YouTube and look up the McCarthy hearings, they sold communism all through my high school career. They were talking until the USSR was so broke trying to own all these damn countries that America and Britain said, okay, if you bust up the USSR, we'll let you not have to pay these billions of dollars in loans. That's why the Soviet Union broke up. It wasn't because they were doing the right thing, because they wanted to end communism. They broke up because the UK and America cut them a sweetheart deal. It was about debt. You can listen to them lies in college if you want to about Russia. Okay? A lot of people are amazed that Donald Trump is friends with Kim Jong-un. Why? Koreans subscribe to white supremacy. That's why they're friends. Why is Putin and Donald Trump friends? Because Russia and white supremacist ideology, that's the start of the Caucasian race. Caucasus Mountains in Russia. That's why we keep sending billions of dollars to Israel. You might see some of these white supremacists go after Jews. Okay? But white supremacists that are on Donald Trump's level, they know the historical context of Israel and Russia. Because remember, when the albinos got cast out of Africa, where'd they go? They went up to the Caucasus Mountains. Then from there, they came down to what's called the Persian Gulf, Turkey, and the rest of Europe. So that's why, that's the historical context of Russia and Israel. So you wonder why we so emphatically and blindly support Israel? That's why. Because Israel is daddy. As far as the so-called white race is concerned, those Israelis are descendants of those folks that came out of the Caucasus Mountains. Like I said, black folks, you can't claim ignorance. If you listen to this stuff and you walk away talking about, hey, man, now you stupid. I'm not calling you stupid to be rude. I'm calling you stupid because that's what you are if you keep subscribing to the same dumb shit. I got black folks been listening to my show for damn near 10 years, and these niggas still support Christmas. These niggas think I'm stupid. I'm like, nigga, I saw your ass at Walmart buying the bullshit. You all in my chat room talk about, yeah, Ice, yeah, white Jesus don't exist. Yeah, go Ice. Black Friday, your black ass out there at Walmart buying shit for Christmas. Yeah, I know Christmas is bullshit, Ice. And I know Christmas is really, because I'm going to do a show that's dedicated to nothing but talking about Christmas. And I'm going to give you the historical Roman homosexual story that's behind Christmas. Christmas is actually a homosexual holiday that started in Rome with the Roman men giving gifts to each other and then going up in each other. So I guess, even though you know that now, you still gonna take your black ass over there and celebrate Christmas. Again, you're not ignorant, you're stupid. Most of you know Christmas is bullshit. Most of you know religion is bullshit, but you can't tell niggas nothing. Because if you know, even if you know something that's wrong, I've even heard my dad even say he knew religion was bullshit. So you have to ask yourself, well, what is his excuse that he still continues to subscribe to it? Still thinking like a slave. You're still in captivity just like you were during slavery. But just because you got a longer leash, a lot of y'all don't think you in captivity. But what you are seeing right now, we are in the midst of a white supremacist jihad. And you seeing these sleeper cells, which is what these white supremacist little young dudes are. They're sleeper cells. And they come online when they finally get tired of seeing too many Hispanics get hired at their jobs or wherever. They decide to do what that dude did in El Paso. And it's going to get worse. Because I had people after that Harvest Festival, that country festival in Las Vegas, when they killed them 50 people and injured 400 or 500 people. People was like, hey, Ice, you think this is ever going to happen again? Yes. And 3 weeks later, Parkland popped off. These sleeper cells are becoming awake. And the problem with sleeper cells is terror cells is you don't know when they're going to pop up. And that's why I keep telling black men and women, if you live in a state that provides gun permits, concealed gun permits, you better go get you one. Because one of these days, I'm going to tell you when Christmas, I'm telling you, this holiday season will be some mass shootings at these malls. And I don't care how many black and white police cars they got patrolling these parking lots around the country. Somebody's going to get that AR-15 or that AK-47 inside that mall, and they going to mow some folks down. Don't let it be some ex-military fools, because they know what they doing. Because all they got to do is get a few of these 40-round magazines and put them in a jacket and run around the mall and just start spraying people, or just get them in the parking lot. So this holiday season, I mark my word, there will be some mass shootings, because when these sleeper cells come awake, there's going to be copycats. And remember, a lot of these folks be clout chasing. Don't think that a lot of these shooters ain't trying to become martyrs in white supremacist folklore. Okay? Don't think they're not trying to be martyrs. Remember what Dylan Roof said when he killed those 9 people in that church, those innocent black folks in that church in South Carolina. What did he say? He said, I'm going to be a martyr. amongst white supremacists. So I don't care that I'm going to prison for the rest of my natural life. They don't care. That guy that killed that white woman at Unite the Right in Charlottesville, Virginia, he does not care. See, you thinking through your eyes. You're looking at this through your brain. You ain't looking at this through theirs. They don't care if they go to prison, because when they go to prison, the white prison guards, as well as the white inmates, giving them dap the whole time. They've been treated like a celebrity. And I know what you're thinking. Well, they ain't getting no ass in there. No, they are. They don't care. Some of these guys are homosexuals anyway. So it's no big deal for them to go to prison. Some people just want the admiration of their tribe's people. That's all they want. So while you're sitting there thinking this guy's an idiot, in his mind, he ain't an idiot. He's a martyr. He's going to go down in history like Timothy McVeigh did. These guys have already decided in their mind that they don't care about dying. You better read the Camp of the, you better go look at some of these books, the Camp of the Saints, Might is Right, and the Turner Diaries. Okay? If you can pick those books up from the library, I wouldn't buy them. I ain't making them food. I ain't making Amazon no money off that shit, or making the authors of them, whoever owns the right to them books. I ain't trying to help them make no money. But if you go to the library and rent one of these books, I suggest you rent the Turner Diary, because almost every big library has a copy of the Turner Diaries. And you need to read the Turner Diaries so you can be like, or you know, you don't necessarily have to read it, but you need to be familiar with it. You need to be familiar with it. So you don't get caught slipping. I'm going to take a break right here. Hey, guys, let's get these donations up. I'm going to take a quick break. If you haven't donated yet, you need to go and get your donate on. Okay? YouTube, y'all been slipping. Let's get on the good foot. It's not the responsibility of those who donate every week to donate. You have a responsibility as well. Stop being full of shit. All right. I see it's some dickwads. We need to get out of the room here. Hey, my mods, Monstar 86, B the Great B. When you see these dickwads come in the room, get rid of these guys, man. You know, if they post some dumb shit about, sucking up on Donald Trump's balls, they're a white supremacist. You know they part of the mayonnaise militia or mayonnaise mafia. What you are seeing out here, ladies and gentlemen, what you're witnessing is white supremacist jihad popping off right before your very eyes. These sleeper cells are coming awake, and these guys, look, you have to understand, when these white supremacists look out here, they see the browning and blacking of America. And they see that they can't just haul off and lay hands on black folks or call black folks the N-word and black folks bitch up and get scared and go run and hide behind a wall or something. Okay? What they're seeing is their numbers decreasing. They see that the white supremacists are going to have to go back to barbarianism in order to keep black people at bay, so they think. The thing about you have to understand, the Europeans are nothing but barbarians. Euro-Americans are descendants of these barbarians. And you have to understand, they want to be able to kill, murder, rape, and maim anybody they want to be able to. And you have to understand, in white communities, raping women is no big deal. Don't let these white feminist groups fool you. Rape is acceptable in white communities because this is what they did in Europe. As you see, when a lot of these white supremacist males get accused of rape, get charged with rape, you got the white female that was raped coming into the court talking about little Johnny shouldn't get any jail time. Do you think that Caucasian female would do that if a black dude raped him? Huh? Do you really think she would do that if a black man raped her? Or a man of another race raped her? Rape is acceptable in their community. That's why pedophilia, whenever pedophilia comes to light in a white community, especially a middle class and up community, somebody dry snitched. If you hear about some high school principal that's running a prostitution ring at the high school, the only time we find out is when somebody dry snitches to the media. That's when we find out about it. When we find white males who have raped multiple Caucasian women and never got charged with a crime. Or they got charged but never convicted. Why? Because the white female that got the females went to court and said little Johnny shouldn't go to prison, or they wouldn't testify. That's why Nancy Pelosi and a lot of these feminist organizations are hot under the collar, because Trump got rid of that domestic violence law. He got rid of it. Him and Pence got rid of it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Trump. Thank you. They got rid of that federal law that says a woman could just haul off and accuse you of domestic violence. You ain't even touched the bitch. They got rid of that shit. All you feminists that's looking right now, go fuck yourself. No law should be on the books that says somebody yelled at me and now the man is going to jail for 6 months because you said it's domestic violence. Now, they still might have that law on the books where if somebody reports domestic violence, no matter who does, the prosecutor will go ahead and prosecute you, whether there was whether the victim is willing to come forward or not. See, they love that shit. They love that shit. Like I said, I don't like Trump, but I like some of the shit he does, because in my opinion, nobody, no woman or man should go to prison for somebody accusing you of doing some shit and there's no proof of it. Like that Brian Banks movie is coming out tomorrow. I might go see it. Got Sherry Shepherd in it, the very funny comedian actress Sherry Shepherd. She's in it. My man Alton. What's the name of that brother? The brother that played MC Ren in Straight Outta Compton. He's playing Brian Banks. The brother that's on City on the Hill. I might go see that tomorrow. I gotta see who's directing and who's producing it. Because if it's some Caucasians behind that movie, I'll wait till it come out on DVD. But I'm gonna see who directed it and who produced it. But Trump and Pence, they let that law expire, that domestic violence bill, and Pence and Trump told the DOJ to not to prosecute these domestic violence cases if there's no proof of a domestic violence, that no domestic violence happened. Remember, in a lot of states, especially like states like Michigan, simple assault is punishable up to 6 months in jail. Simple assault is just us arguing. You see that? That's not battery. Assault and battery will put you in jail for a year, or will put you in jail for 11 months and 30 days. You see how easy it is to go to jail for some shit like that? If your old lady push you, that's domestic violence. That's assault and battery. You ain't gonna have your girl go to prison or go to jail. You probably should, because she would do that shit to your ass if she got away with it. If she could get away with it, she would. That's why we got to be careful enforcing these white supremacist draconian laws, because when it's all said and done, we are the ones who are affected adversely behind that shit. Sometimes these white prosecutors will drop charges against some of these white offenders, but then they will charge you with some shit. They'll throw the book at your ass. Trust me, I know from personal experience. They'll throw the book at your ass. They'll come up with all kind of shit. You'll be like, what? Say what? 2 counts of harassment? What the fuck? When did I harass this bitch? You be sitting in court like, you be sitting over there looking at your girl like, she'll be like, I didn't tell them, I didn't say nothing about no harassment. Prosecutor be done called your girl. Oh, he emailed you? Harassment. How many times he emailed you? Twice. Harassment. It's out your girl's hands now. And that white prosecutor is gonna make sure you get convicted. They're gonna make sure they get all white folks on the jury. You're gonna get a jury of your peers, all white folks. Fuck out of here. I don't want to hear nothing about that goddamn Constitution. That shit does. Constitution don't apply to our black asses. They throw the Constitution out the door when it comes to us. Look at Bill Cosby. You think the Constitution applies in his case? Like I said, all you black women that walk around here calling yourself a feminist, siding with these white supremacists over your black men, I'm going to be laughing when something happened to your sons out here by some white girl they messing with. Or some other white citizen accuses your son of doing some shit he didn't do. Then don't come on Facebook talking about we need it. Well, I got to GoFundMe because my son got accused of rape at his college by some white girl that he didn't even touch. Don't come on Facebook trying to get support. Don't sit up here and put no link to GoFundMe on Facebook trying to get money. When your son get caught up, or your grandson get caught up, or your nephew get caught up, your favorite nephew get caught up. Let's see you talk that feminist shit then. Talk about how you love white supremacy then. How you love white supremacy / feminism then. Fuck out of here. Get tired of black folks teaming up, black men and black women teaming up with the enemy against their own people, trying to get brownie points from white supremacists. You look like a fool. Saturday, we are, let's see here. The Player Circle podcast this Saturday. Let me get this in here real quick. The Player Circle podcast on Saturday, 3 p.m. The topic for the podcast will be American whorehouse culture. Oh man, I wrote it wrong. American whorehouse culture, doing something strange for a piece of change, part 3. Now, if you've been in the place to be Saturday before last and last Saturday, you know we discussed whorehouse culture. We talked the first week we talked about the men and how and what role we play in whorehouse culture in America. Last week we talked about the women. This week we're gonna put it all together and we're gonna talk about how things are gonna progress forward from here. Okay, so that's what we're gonna talk about Saturday. Make sure you in the house so you can be part of the discussion. But that's the Player Circle podcast topic for Saturday. Make sure you subscribe to the Mad Voodoo Man channel. Those of you on Facebook, make sure you subscribe to the channel on YouTube so you don't get left out. Because some people on Facebook will be like, "Ice, when you be doing this Player Circle podcast, I don't how come you don't do the show on Facebook no more?" Well, subscribe to the Mad Voodoo Man channel so you don't get left out. Or what you should do is follow me on Twitter and Instagram. That's what you should do. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter, because sometimes what I do is I post on there. I post stuff on Twitter and Instagram that I don't post on Facebook at all. There's videos that I'll post on there that I ain't gonna post on here on YouTube or whatchamacallit. You digs? So follow me on Instagram at The Iceman Show. Follow me on Twitter at The Iceman Show. It ain't gonna hurt you to follow me. You ain't giving up nothing. What you giving up? You ain't gotta pay for it. Black folks gotta stop being chicken shit. We want to be chicken shit when it comes to black folk stuff, but then when it comes to you getting the new Manolo Blahnik $1,500 4-inch pumps, you ain't got a problem with spending your mortgage payment on that, spending your retirement on that. You ain't got a problem with that. You ain't got a problem with going get some Gucci slippers. You're going to spend $2,000 on that dumbass shit, but you ain't going to spend no money with your people. That's why I keep telling y'all, those of you who call yourself ain't going to donate when we do these live streams, don't say nothing when I stop doing them. Or I'm not going to never stop doing my live stream, but I'll just do them privately. And those individuals who donate every week, and those folks that donate via recurring donation, monthly or weekly or daily donations, those folks will get the links to those videos. And those of you who don't ever or don't consistently contribute and donate, you'll be in the cold. You'll be sitting here thinking that the Iceman Show ended some kind of way, and it hasn't. It's just that I'm doing everything and I'm setting everything to private so that freeloaders don't get a chance to see the live stream. So we're going to have to go back to that if we keep we're probably going to end up going back to it anyway, because I'm looking at PayPal and the donations are abysmal. Okay, so you guys are telling me what you're about. So don't get mad when you can't access these videos, because I get tired of people sending me emails talking about, hey man, I'll pay $1,000 for your old videos. Nigga, you ain't even got 5 cents you ain't got 50 cents in your checking account. How the fuck you gonna pay $1,000 for anything? You ain't never paid $1,000 for anything. Fuck out of here. Who you think you talking to, nigga? You've been on the internet too long. But catch us Saturday, Player Circle Podcast. Player Circle Podcast. Our topic for Saturday at 3 p.m. Central Time will be American whorehouse culture, doing something strange for a piece of change. Part 3. Remember, this is part 3. All right? Be in the house. Remember, this is our final day for this season of fundraising. Okay? So if we don't raise the minimum amount of money, because we definitely didn't raise it that much money tonight. If we don't raise the minimum amount of money on Saturday, if you guys show up Saturday playing games and acting like you don't know any better, you don't know what we do here, don't show your ass up. Okay? Because what I will do is I will shut the show down. Okay? If y'all pull the shit Saturday, y'all pull Tuesday, and today, y'all think I'm bullshitting. I'm not. Have your face in the place on Saturday and make sure you're ready to donate your $10. Don't meet me there. Beat me there. You tune into the Iceman Show podcast. I am your host, the Iceman. Holler at your motherfucking boy.